At the end of a very controversial and some would say a very exciting Delhi election campaign, we are here to discuss the big takeaways of the campaign. I have with me a very distinguished panel of senior editors, and at the end of it, I'm going to try and get them to predict actually who they think is going to win. I'll try. I'm not sure if I'll succeed. But I have with me first Mr. Prabhu Chawla, who is also the editorial director of the New Indian Express Group, and also he does a program for us for a sister channel, India News, Sachi Baat. We have Pankaj Vora, who is also the managing editor of the Sunday Guardian, Veer Sanghvi, senior editor and political analyst, and we have Dr. Sanjay Baru, who is also a former editor and now a fellow at the Center for Policy Research. To begin with, Mr. Chawla, who do you think is going to win? Let me start at the beginning.
It's difficult to predict anything these days because we have been wrong in the past. It is not to take any risk at this stage. So the question is very clear: it will decide the future of future elections.
Of the future elections. But how has the campaign been? You know,
it has been the most dirty, filthiest campaign I have seen in Delhi. Because it has more to metai. I never expected this kind of low-level politics going on, dirty, filthy cartoons about each other. And I thought that this will be a little more cleaner and fairer election than it was. But it turned out to be much more, because there is a panic, it seems, in both the camps. It's much more, because the issues were not there at all. Nobody is talking about issues. They're talking about individuals only.
We had a very dirty campaign, huh?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if it's any dirtier than usual. I mean, is it? How dirty can you get when Arvind Kejriwal puts up posters saying he's honest and Sheila Dikshit, who's the sitting chief minister, is corrupt? So, I mean, there is a background of dirtiness. But what I thought was interesting about this campaign were two things. One is that the BJP campaign was marked by U-turns and the fact that it was run essentially by defectors. Whereas the AAP campaign, I thought, was the final break with the Anna Hazare movement. If you look at the faces that characterize the Anna Hazare movement, of which AAP claims to be the child, all of them were going. The Bhushans were nowhere in evidence. Shanti Bhushan actually turned against Arvind Kejriwal. Anna Hazare turned against Arvind Kejriwal. Santosh Hegde went back to Bangalore. Shazia Elmi and Kiran Bedi went over to the other side. What we've seen, just as we've seen in the BJP, the Congressization of the BJP, where it's become a party run by a high command, chosen by Modi rather than a grassroots party. What we are seeing in AAP is the individualization of AAP. It's no longer that conglomerate that hung around Ram Leela Maidan or wherever. This is Arvind Kejriwal's own party.
Arvind Kejriwal's own party fighting amongst themselves. That's interesting. Dr. Baru, what would you say?
Well, I think there's certainly a bit of truth in that. After all, Ms. Bedi and Mr. Kejriwal were allies and now they are opponents. But I think what I really find depressing about this election is that we, including the media, have elevated a mayoral election into a national election. And I mean, the political parties are to blame as well. I mean, I don't think the Delhi Chief Minister's position is as important as now it might become because of the way.
But because it's the capital, there is a perception that a vote for Delhi is a vote for the center, which is why also we are seeing Modi getting so excited.
That's certainly true. I mean, you had Sheila Dikshit as the Chief Minister of Delhi when Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of Delhi. I don't think anybody saw that as an indictment of Mr. Vajpayee when she got elected as Chief Minister of Delhi. She got elected as Chief Minister of Delhi because they thought she was better than whoever, Mr. Khurana or Malhotra or whoever was her BJP rival at that time.
Pankaj, doesn't that always happen? You know, it does work up to be a referendum on the center, or, you know, any state election does.
No, Delhi elections have always been very high profile. You know, in the present election, you know, all the senior ministers, cabinet ministers, they are.
Always happen, you know, it does work up to be a referendum on the center, or, you know, any state election does.
No, Delhi elections have always been very high profile. You know, in the present election, you know, all the senior ministers, cabinet ministers, they are campaigning actively for the BJP. It reminds me, you know, way back in 1972, you know, Vijay Kumar Malhotra used to be the chief executive councillor, and Indira Gandhi, at the peak of her popularity, went door to door in his Patel Nagar constituency to get him defeated. And, you know, somehow she could not get him defeated, and he still won. In this instance, you know, the entire cabinet is trying to defeat Kejriwal, and it seems that he is emerging stronger with each passing day. And the mistake which the BJP in Delhi seems to have done this time is that they have, you know, totally marginalized the local leadership, and they are trying to bank too much on Amit Shah and Venkaiah Naidu and the likes. It's a very close contest, which is getting out of BJP's grasp as the day.
Veer, has the BJP lost the campaign as he's saying, or so far what is looking, or what has also been responsible for the AAP's turnaround? You know, suddenly earlier we thought they were going to lose, BJP is going to get a walkover, but now it seems the AAP is the big player back again.
It's hard to say. I think some of it definitely has to do with Arvind Kejriwal's own popularity, and it would be wrong to deny him the credit for that. But a lot of that has to do with the mistakes the BJP has made. My friend Monu Nalapathan, your colleague, who's generally on every Newsdesk discussion show but is mysteriously absent from this one, has a good point which he
We
makes.
have Sunday Guardian being represented.
All right, yeah, so you're representing him as well. But he makes this point always, which is that the voters elected Modi because they wanted good governance. But that message didn't get through. Somewhere Modi and Amit Shah thought that the voters wanted a Congress Mukt Bharat, and therefore their mission was to go and win every assembly election. He says it's because the BJP made these assembly elections, as Sanjay correctly says, the mayoral election so important that every 3 months or 2 months or so, Modi is put on test with an assembly election. The real job, which he is elected to, of governing the country, is put on the back burner.
Prabhu, do you agree that the BJP, you know, what would you say? Has the BJP lost the election and is losing? You know, they seem to be losing
they're
ground.
panicking. Yes, there's no doubt about it. Because they thought it was a walkover for them. But the question I must dispel first thing that it's not a mayoral election. New York mayor is more important than most of senators and secretaries of state. So he decides what the future of what the global discussion takes place. And mayor of Delhi, for example, the chief of minister of Delhi is much more important in terms of perception. And you must give it to Kejriwal that he has taken the mind space of the mass people. If you go to the social media, you will find almost equal to Modi popularity.
But this
So
wasn't
social
there
media-
in November. You know, for a long time we thought this is the BJP's election to win.
it
Suddenly,
was
2-3
about
months mein
1
kuch
month
badla
ago,
hai.
because as somebody was pointing out, media, because media is much more Modi than media itself, Modi himself. I will say अच्छे दिन नहीं आए हैं, but बुरे दिन भी नहीं दिखाई देते, पर अच्छे दिन तो दिखाई देने चाहिए. BJP is losing, seems to be losing it because there are too many cooks in the broth. At the moment they are in the kitchen, they are all trying to cook something here, something there, something there, and everybody will try to take the credit for victory if it happens. Nobody take the credit for defeat. That is what is happening because 15 ministers and 110 MPs obviously against one person. It means they don't have issue. They are not able to convey the message that Modi is the person who wants to rule with authority, with clarity, which he has got a clear agenda. But the BJP, by imposing Kiran Bedi, I think Kiran
That's
Bedi
the
was
next
a turning point in BJP.
Was it a
history.
big mistake?
Because I have been covering the part of the system and for the last almost 45 years. There are people, workers who have been working for 45 years, suddenly you impose somebody from there. She may be a good lieutenant governor, she may be a good police commissioner. She was removed from Goa as a police commissioner at midnight by the BJP government.
So
But
what?
why, if we be talking about the BJP government, nobody asked question why BJP did not give her the due which she is being given now. So obviously they impose a person who cannot carry the people with her. It was a wrong mistake trusting some outsider in a place like Delhi, which is rooted in RSS thing. And RSS trying to activate it because they mobilized 1,50,000 people in last 1 week.
Are the RSS going to be working for Kiran Bedi? Have they worked
They
for
are
this
working
election?
for victory of Modi, basically. They are working for Sangh Parivar. Victory for Sangh Parivar. They got Kiran Bedi, most of them don't like him, like her.
Sanjay, would you agree? Big mistake bringing in Kiran Bedi.
Well, I think the real mistake is thinking about the chief minister too late. I mean, you had on the other side a clear representative
Face.
of a political party. Mr. Kejriwal is, you know, like the dog with the bone in its mouth, and he doesn't want to give up this this job which he thought he had finally got last year. And I think the fact that the BJP took so long, you know, Harshvardhan, then some Upadhyaya was brought in, there's confusion about other names, several names kind of floated.
You think going with, say, Harshvardhan would have been a better strategy?
Well, you know, frankly,
I feel yes.
You feel yes.
Oh,
We will say yes.
without a
Pankaj?
doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Harshvardhan has
Without a doubt.
he was president of the Delhi BJP.
He was demoted first. I don't know what mysterious circumstance he was demoted from health minister. It's suddenly to science and technology.
So the idea was that he was demoted to make him chief minister for Delhi. Something went wrong in the middle. Any idea what?
no, I think actually, I mean, I didn't give that much thought, but hearing all three of them, I would go along with them. That I think maybe Harshvardhan, given the fact that he was an honest background, professional background from Delhi, I think if he had stuck with him with the support of the Prime Minister, that would have made a difference.
So, Veer, one mistake which we are thinking is not promoting, say, someone like Harshvardhan. What are the other mistakes in the BJP campaign? Then we'll go to the AAP.
Well, if you look at the last election, the media pretends that Arvind Kejriwal won the last election. Actually, anybody came close to winning it with the BJP.
Good point.
The BJP won much more seats than Arvind Kejriwal. Following which you've had the Modi landslide or victory or whatever. You have a momentum. You had a sense that the honeymoon was not over. If they had just built on that last one and had gone on with Modi campaigning Harshvardhan as candidate, we'd be discussing whether it was the end for Arvind Kejriwal now. Instead, in the manner that Amit Shah and Modi have, of turning their backs on the old BJP leaders and trying to promote their own chaps and their new people, they decided they wouldn't promote anybody from within the existing BJP. They said, first of all, that the Modi wave was enough. In the early days of the campaign, I did one of these discussions on NewsX with Akhtar, and the BJP chap said, we don't need a chief minister candidate. We've never had chief minister candidates. People will vote for Mr. Modi. Well, guess what? That wasn't enough for them, because then they got a little frightened. They thought perhaps the Modi thing wasn't working. So they needed either a chief ministerial candidate or a scapegoat. Kiran Bedi fit both bills.
Let's analyze. We know what a win would do for everybody. What, Pankaj, would a defeat mean for, let's begin with the BJP then.
It will be a great setback for Mr. Modi personally. And I think, the Modi fatigue has already started setting in. People, are now talking that this is a treadmill government which is just, exercising at one spot and is not moving ahead. And it's making noises. It has been in the election mode ever since it took over. People have huge expectations from it, of governance, of, various kinds of things, development. Nothing is coming on the ground. Nothing can be seen on the ground. And, it will be a great setback. And another factor which is playing very important role in this election is the Congress factor. The supreme irony is that the better the Congress does, the chances of BJP doing well in the elections are greater. But if Congress diminishes from its previous position,
Aam
Aadmi Party will be assured of a victory. So the Congress factor is playing a role in this election as a kind of a facilitator for any of the two parties to win.
Mr. Chawla, what is at stake here for the BJP? How important is winning Delhi?
will be out after if they lose elections, because the question is, first of all, there will be attack on the president of the party. His organization skills, which he has been invincible so far, that will be tried to demolish him, because most of the things happen. Because Delhi politicians are much more smarter. They are waiting for somebody, because they have not allowed the previous president, who was an outsider from outside, whether it is Nitin Gadkari, whether it is Rajnath Singh, they never allowed anybody to settle down.
So that Delhi chair is still at work.
Systematically, you understand, for all 15 years, nobody has allowed Delhi leadership from the bottom to emerge on top. Those who could have become something in Delhi, they went and captured the central leadership. And after that, they saw to it that nobody emerges anything powerful in Delhi. So Delhi has been a part victim of the internal politics of BJP. After Madanlal Khurana, Vijaykumar Malhotra, Karnal Gupta, you go back to the ST, they were stalwarts, they were winning elections. But when it came to central government, they saw to it, they never got important ministries at the center. They have not given any important office in the thing. And those who could not win an election or could not deliver victory, they were given everything else. So it has been a sabotage of Delhi BJP systematically, so that they shine, others just sink. So it is a challenge to Amit Shah's capability, because Amit Shah will be the first victim of this canard against him. He has to watch out.
I'd like to add in to what Prabhu said. Basically, leaders in Delhi, the local leaders, have always had great access, so far as BJP central leaders were concerned. They could walk into Mr. Vajpayee's house, they could walk into Mr. Advani's house, because BJP and Jansangh evolved from Delhi into an all India party. The present leadership of BJP is inaccessible. The Delhi leaders have been marginalized, so they are also waiting for an opportunity to settle their scores. So I think basically Amit Shah will be made the fall guy, as Prabhu has rightly said, and in order to shield or insulate Modi.
But for Modi, how?
Well, I'm the only one here. I don't know how Veer sees himself, but I'm a Hyderabadi. I've lived in Delhi for more than 20 years, but I look at things.
So you're what the
great Modi.
But for Modi, how?
Well, I'm the only one here. I don't know how Veer sees himself, but I'm a Hyderabadi. I've lived in Delhi for more than 20 years, but I look at things
so you're what the BJP would
from
call
a
an
non-Delhi
immigrant.
view. And I think Delhi always tends to have an exaggerated view of itself in national politics. One, I think the big mistake that Mr. Modi has made in these 8 months is a mistake that actually Dr. Manmohan Singh had made in the last 2-3 years of his tenure,
Which is?
which is to delay taking decisions because of assembly elections. He would say, I remember in conversations, he would say, let that election be over and then we'll do this, or let that state election be over and then. So every time Government of India had to take some important decisions, state assembly elections were used as an alibi for delaying decisions. And I actually think Mr. Modi should have avoided that trap, but he actually fell into the trap of regarding victory in state assembly elections even 8 months after having becoming Prime Minister as important for his Prime Ministership. He should have taken the view that, look, I'm Prime Minister of India. There are assembly elections, some we win, some we lose. I don't have to win every single election. And handed over Delhi to somebody, and maybe Mr. Amit Shah will be hung out to dry for this defeat, but that should have happened on day one. Let's face it, all of us have underestimated Mr. Modi over the last several years.
So he can still pull a rabbit.
He can still pull a rabbit. I mean, I don't want to underestimate Mr. Modi at all politically. And that he
So
can
Mr.
bounce
Babu
back.
says if they win, they will win because of Modi, not because of anything else.
Doesn't this remind you of the Congress? If you lose, it's because of the party. If you
that
win,
is-
it's because of Sonia.
But exactly,
People might vote for Modi, that's right.
that's the game in town, and certainly there is the rest of India to for him to kind of bounce back from.
Yes, Bihar, which is the next
I
challenge.
think at the end of the day, Mr. Kejriwal is going to be a bee in the bonnet. He's not going to give up. He's like that monkey on the shoulder. He will always be jumping from one shoulder of the Prime Minister to other. It's going to be a headache for him.
Okay, let's talk about Kejriwal. What is at stake for
But
Kejriwal?
I will interrupt,
Sorry.
because I agree with you, because he's trying to say that even the BJP will try to shift it to Modi, okay, because you want to strengthen Modi, therefore you must vote for BJP, even if you don't like Kiran Bedi. They are saying Kiran niche upar Modi, but they might say, upar niche dono Modi, don't worry, let's vote for Modi. They can play that card in next 48 hours. I don't know what happens.
Well,
but-
she's being called the Manmohan Singh of this election. Veer, about Kejriwal, what is at stake for him here? If he wins, if he
Kejriwal
loses.
has emerged because so much attention has been paid to this Kiran Bedi nonsense. We've ignored Kejriwal's achievements. I agree with Sanjay. I think Kejriwal is the monkey on everybody's shoulder. He's going to be around for a long time. But he's proved himself to be a remarkable politician. That whole India against corruption thing, all this claim that this is Anna's movement, we will do what Anna says. They sort of dumped Anna now. They sort of treat him, when you mention him in private conversations, they treat him like the village idiot and they say his opinion is of no consequence. The people who are allegedly the leaders of India against corruption, if you will, their syndicate, has now been completely dispensed with. What you've had is and we say this about Modi, but we don't realize this is as true of Kejriwal. What you've had is an Indira Gandhi-like emergence, casting off the baggage of the past, casting off the people who made him Arvind Kejriwal, and he's just not going away. He has very few resources. He has no national organization, and yet here we are discussing him almost equally as much as we're discussing Modi. It is by any standards a remarkable achievement.
Remarkable achievement. I mean, you can say it was Kejriwal who demolished the Congress in the last election, and he's given BJP sleepless nights in this election, right?
Absolutely. He has shown a lot of resilience. He's very consistent, and he does not react. Modi has been calling him all kinds of names, anarchist, and BJP has been calling him all kinds of
Chor
things.
is Nirmala Sitharaman.
But he has not reacted. And he is gaining sympathy. He's a master of understatement, and he has also reached out to people. He started his campaign much earlier than the BJP did, and each and every, like the BJP used to do in the past, each and every block level has been approached in the city. His people are there, and he's very effective in communicating, and so far he has become the darling of the middle classes.
How did he win back the middle classes? He had lost them during his dharnas and his Republic
Because the
Day
BJP
drama.
lost the middle classes.
BJP lost the middle classes.
Because BJP, middle classes are fed up. The prices have not gone down. The BJP leaders keep on saying that we have brought down petrol and diesel. People on the street are saying that what about milk? The milk which comes from Gujarat, in particular, Amul is 2 rupees more costly than what is sold in Mother Dairy. I feel that BJP is promising all kinds of things. There's no timeline. But so far as this guy is concerned, he says that he will immediately reduce power tariffs. He will immediately reduce water, rates. So he's the one who will give us instant.
A magic wand.
No, I don't think it's the inflation issue is as important for the middle class as the continuation of both what Kejriwal calls the VIP culture and lack of urban governance. I mean, in Delhi, there's been no change in 8 months, right? Despite Lieutenant Governor's rule, which is a central government rule, corruption has not reduced. The VIP culture, the Lal Batti culture, which they talk about. So I think there's a general feeling that these guys are no different from the earlier guys. That has come back. I mean, I agree inflation is important, but it's not a
The
priority
magic of
at
Modi
the moment.
There's no
is being
change.
dented. There's no change.
There's no feeling that suddenly now the capital feels different because a set of guys that there for 10 years are gone. You know, the Gandhi family darbar is gone and a new set of guys have come. Therefore, life should feel different. It doesn't.
The promise hasn't come in.
One set of Lal Battis have replaced another set of Lal
No,
Battis.
you have different kind of power people who have establishment, like you see them on TV, because they were nowhere. Now they have branded all sorts of the Jawar jacket and they wear and whatnot. They become the
Well, some even
they
have-
nobody's there. The question is, as you rightly pointed out, because Arvind Kejriwal, if somebody saying it's not a national, I don't agree, because I'm in the south and go there. I go through almost every state and every capital. You will find an off volunteer who is upper middle class and pada likha means well qualified, carrying the cap on his head at the time. The idea of Kejriwal, he has given an alternative idea of politics. The way he speaks, the way he conducts himself, the way he dresses himself. So he has given some alternative idea, like I won't compare it to Mahatma Gandhi, too much exaggeration would happen. Because Mahatma Gandhi, by wearing that half dhoti, was able to convey a certain message. So Anil Goswami would not have been changed in overnight if Arvind Kejriwal not around.
We're running out of time. So last two questions, Pankaj, if you can begin with you, two big things. One is, of course, this last minute allegations against Kejriwal. Let's not go into the merits of it, but the perception of it. How has it dented the Aam Aadmi Party or has it not? And second is this Obama visit. People are saying, has it worked in favor of Modi or not?
No, first, Obama visit, I don't think it has worked. As a matter of fact, it has, helped in or rather contributed to the Modi fatigue. People did not, appreciate too much in any kind of terms that, Modi calling him Barack and, being all over. So, it was not well received.
It didn't have the effect
It did not. It was
he
not well
wanted.
received at all. And so far as Kejriwal is concerned, he has gained considerably. And I think in this election, it is basically Kejriwal's election where he's inching towards victory.
I'm thinking Kejriwal has the edge. Dr. Baru?
Well, on the Barack Obama visit, frankly, the Delhi middle class are a cynical lot. So I don't think as far as the middle class is concerned, it would have made any difference.
They have
As
the
far-
grin that Mr. Chawla has.
As far as the poor of Delhi are concerned, I mean, it doesn't make a difference to them. So the cynics would have shrugged their shoulders. The poor would not even react. So I don't think that visit
That
really
worked.
made it important. Your other question was about the allegations
That's
against
right, the
Mr.
last
Kejriwal. These allegations do dent his image. But I think his image has been dented long back because Arvind Kejriwal of today is no longer Saint Kejriwal. He's not even talking of corruption in his campaign. He has now become the leader of causes like the cheap electricity, cheap free water, anger against the powerful. There are several causes he represents. He is no longer India against corruption. There people do say that when he was chief minister, corruption had dramatically gone down
Yeah,
and
the
then it's gone
bribes
back.
had-
I don't know. I mean, I have not had any such experience.
Okay.
But as far as the result is concerned, I would still say that let's wait and watch for what the voter does because, poll predictions can go
Wrong. That's
Either way. But Mr. Chawla, the two events, if you can analyze, was it a smart move in bringing out allegations? APA is very worried. They're saying the timing is very, done us damage more than anything else. We don't have much time to counter it.
I don't think these allegations were ended. Kejriwal is the Teflon factor is there. You can't even do anything. You
Teflon
can
factor.
say anything about whatever. The question is, somebody can also raise the question how on the register of company, how the company got registered. Nobody is asking that question. The question is you must go back. Okay, they have given the money, but go and arrest them now. Teflon factor is there. You can't even do anything. You
Teflon
can say
factor.
anything about whatever. The question is, somebody can also raise the question how on the register of company, how the company got registered. Nobody is asking that question. The question is you must go back. Okay, they have given the money, but go and arrest them now or take an action, whatever you want to take an action. But these allegations don't work because I'm saying that Arvind Kejriwal has risen above these things. Anything you say about him, he is your rival. It won't work now. The question is, this donation was given in April last year. Why were you sitting pretty now?
That's what they're worried about, the timing.
No, timing, they are not worried about. They are getting favorable publicity. I think by raising these questions, I think they are making him more popular.
Okay. So
But
it's a
still,
bad move again.
I wouldn't say that it's a done game where that somebody is winning or somebody is losing. You never know what happens on 10th when you open the ballots. There, the question is. But yes, there is some kind of a what they call the diminishing returns of popularity here in this. Modi has to be worried about that. That's the only thing I can say.
So Modi has some reason to worry. Veer, will you sum up the whole thing and also give me your answer on these two?
Well, on the allegations thing, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with everybody, which is that it seems to me, as Prabhu suggests, to be a bit of a put-up job. And the guys they've put up to do it, this man in a hat whose name I've forgotten, and this other Neil Patrick Harris guy who sort of looks at camera and says, Kejriwal, I loved you, you have betrayed me, etc. I mean, turns the whole thing into an element of soap opera, but even assumes the purpose of argument that these are valid, these are valid allegations. What do they say? They say that Kejriwal took money from industrialists who, because he wouldn't accept black money, set up dummy companies and gave them to him by cash, which is fine. If this is true, and it may well be true, he's no worse than the BJP or the Congress. It does not indicate that he's a very bad man, except perhaps by the standards of India against corruption, which, as Sanjay has correctly pointed out, seems to matter for less than less, because Kejriwal is now a fighter for causes rather than for the old Lokpal cause with which he sprang to fame. In terms of the big picture, I think what you're seeing, I'll use a historical parallel, what you're seeing with Modi now is the post-1971 Indira Gandhi, who believed she was an absolute leader and therefore went on to win many, many assembly elections. I think Modi sees himself as that kind of person who is now going to rule all of India in the way that Mrs. Gandhi did. I think India has changed. People are a little suspicious of the megalomania that entails. Kejriwal, I think, is the 1969 Indira Gandhi, fighting the syndicate, the underdog, trying very hard to emerge.
We can see a lot of people nodding with you, Veer. That's a good note to end this on. Well, not very long to wait for the results, but from us, this is the editor's take on the Delhi elections. Keep watching us. Thank you for watching this show.